The tears are flowing from those knowing that Johnny Depp and Gina Carano have big wins and might be coming back to Disney properties very soon. Today, we'll tell you why it's all doom and gloom over at the super woke crazies, the websites they run to make your mind hazy about what's really going on. Ladies and gentlemen, they're trying to stop Gina and Johnny, but it's not going to work this time. Hello folks, welcome back to yet another video of pure excellence on the way, and we're happy that you've come our way. Welcome back yet again. Let's dive in when it comes to Gina and Johnny and just how much the woke warriors are losing their minds because they cannot stop it. They cannot control consumers like they thought they could. Folks, you can control the destiny of this video. Click the like button, and here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got this out of Disney Dining. Johnny Depp right there, and well, there are those out there who won't care if he comes back, but some want him, some do badly, and others say badly, please don't let Johnny Depp reappear. From Andrew Boardwine, outlet makes attempt to remove Johnny Depp from Pirates franchise permanently. It's not just Johnny Depp though, it's Gina too. We'll get to it all. For years, it looked like the Pirates of the Caribbean films had left Johnny Depp in their wake. After the highly publicized fallout between the actor and Disney in 2018, the idea of him donning Captain Jack Sparrow's hat again seemed about as likely as finding treasure without a map. Yet lately, the winds have been changing. This article goes on to talk about just how badly Johnny Depp is needed. It doesn't seem like you can even make a Pirates of the Caribbean movie without Johnny Depp, and that's for real. But the pushback is here. Just as soon as the news arrived, we're getting this from people who do not want to see Captain Jack alive on the screen again. It says, not everybody's on board with this course. In a sharply opinionated piece, Gizmodo is arguing that Depp's return is not only unnecessary, but would harm the franchise that doesn't exist without him. And yes, we've got that article. It's by Cheryl Eddy from Gizmodo. Do we have to bring Johnny Depp back to the Pirates of the Caribbean? Actually,
yes.
Folks, the access, the woke warrior media is losing their minds over this. Says producer Jerry Bruckheimer has teased the star might return, but maybe it's time to just let that ship sail. I'm going to read this in just a minute. But I want you to see it's not just Johnny Depp. They are in wine mode overdrive, and that includes Movie Web. Again, I'll come back to the Johnny Depp in just a minute, but I want you to see this is an all-out offensive because normies, the center, the right, the middle, all of it offends them. This controversial Star Wars star is teasing a comeback. Should fans be worried? This is by Richard Fink. It has been 4 years since actress Gina Carano was fired from The Mandalorian, and a year since she filed a lawsuit against Lucasfilm and Disney. Now, she is back in the news after settling her case with the House of Mouse. The actress was let go from her role as Cara Dune in the Star Wars franchise after posting a series of offensive tweets, spreading false info about the pandemic, claiming the 2020... Listen, all of that's nonsense. None of that. There would not be a settlement if Gina had done that stuff. Flat out. Okay? Carano seemingly tweeted herself out of a job, yada, yada. She filed a lawsuit. She won it. And so then it says, to some, this seemed like an indication that Carano would return to The Mandalorian in the Star Wars franchise. This would be troublesome news. Particularly as Carano's conservative views not only clash with many of her Star Wars co-stars, but also the franchise itself. So there you go, conservatives, including to Movie Web, you clash with Star Wars. You're not allowed to be fans of Star Wars. You're not allowed to watch Star Wars. You're out if you're a conservative. I don't know. Maybe the middle also isn't allowed. Who knows where the middle even is? But that's the ramblings of a madman, Richard Fink, who says conservatives don't apply for a job in Hollywood.
I've seen better arguments come out of the back end of a cow. My goodness.
All right, well, let's...
Can I just throw this in here? If you've ever been to a Comic-Con, especially in a red state where Gina Carano is there, she's beating out, as far as lines go, every other person there.
Red states aren't allowed to watch Star Wars, Jonas. Oh my gosh. Read Movie Web. Let's go to Gizmodo now and read just a little bit of what they have to say about Johnny Depp. We're going to scroll down just a little bit. This is, I already gave who it's by. We don't have to read it again. That future is apparently here now, and Bruckheimer, who is clearly aware that anytime he talks about pirates, he makes headlines, is floating the possibility anew. But even if someone writes the best Pirates reboot script ever, topping even the seaworthy hijinks of The Curse of the Black Pearl, do we really need Depp and his character to be shoehorned into it? Captain Jack Sparrow had already overstayed his welcome even before Depp's personal troubles became headline fodder. Perhaps if there's no chance of getting a Pirates movie without him, we should just consider letting the idea sink to the bottom of the ocean forever. Nat, they hate Gina. They hate Johnny Depp. They're not even necessarily conservative. They're just centrists who aren't part of the crazy left oligarchy. They're not part of the intelligentsia of Hollywood. They hate him. They're trying to stop them. I'm not sure it's going to work, though.
No, and I mean, if Disney got into this mess because they listened to these people, and it's a very small minority, and we've seen it in the numbers as well, and the people that actually do go watch are all kinds of people, but because they kept listening to a very few small segment of the population that are very loud apparently, and are also within their own walls, they got into this mess in the first place. But I'm a big Johnny Depp defender, and I love Johnny Depp, and I've watched Pirates of the Caribbean, all of them, unfortunately, for too many times. But I would more likely say, do Gina and Johnny want to go back to a company that treated them that way? I think that is, I mean, it would signal a lot of good grace on their part, but I don't know.
Well, the good news for Johnny is that Bruckheimer, I don't think ever was against him, and so he can say, well, you know, I'm with him. And Disney's having to eat crow right now. With Gina, I think it requires, now I don't know this is me speculating. I haven't talked to anybody who's told me this, but I think maybe it would require some personnel changes. I don't know. But I do know that these arguments that these websites are putting out, like Gizmodo and MovieWeb, frankly, I think they're scary culture, because these are the kinds of depraved minds that would tell you, you know, if you're a restaurant, if they're clearly a conservative, you don't have to serve them, okay? Like, you don't have to give them food. That's a scary path when you decide that you're going to other people who disagree with you politically in any way. You know, Gina is crazy, crazy, crazy nice. Johnny Depp goes to hospitals and takes care of kids in costume. These people are buffoons who say, I don't want them, like, if that's what you have for pirates, if that's the only way we get it back, just no, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that you can take a lot of what Gizmodo has to say with any like credence. They have no credibility. They were sold 3 times within 8 years. The most recent acquisition for Kellops, which is essentially, as far as I'm concerned, the ops stands for, you know, Intel operation, because they don't make money. Before they were sold to Kellops, Gizmodo was collecting revenue along with Gawker, both of which you really don't hear about anymore. Their revenue was $6,500 a month. They weren't even able to pay their staff based on that, so they were continually losing money because nobody thinks of them at all. The fact that, you know, we're covering it's probably the most coverage they've had of anything they've produced in a long while. And so you can set all of the credibility aside and just realize that the vast majority of people want Johnny Depp back, just like the vast majority of people want Gina Carano back. And Disney's going to continue to have to eat crow because they went the complete political opposite of the vast majority of their customers. And they are still eating it because of it. It's going to be a long row back. And I like I said, I'll finish up here. I want Gina back. I want Johnny back. And you cannot do Pirates successfully without him. He is Pirates. No. Jerry Bruckheimer came out in that very article you were citing a few moments ago, saying he created the character. He is the character. This is Pepe Le Pew meets Keith Richards. And nobody can do this.
He's the franchise. I mean, listen, you put out a Pirates movie and people know that you didn't put him in it. That's a $400 million mistake easy.
Yeah, and look, he actually is such the personality for the character that he carries around something called Jack in the Box, which he takes with him when he travels, especially to children's hospitals, and he dresses up as Jack in the hospital for the kids.
And they can't stand him because he doesn't agree with them on every single little thing, and he didn't just roll over and get canceled when the Amber Heard situation happened. Jonas, one of the things that's driving these websites crazy, I think, is that they're on the brink of despair after Gutfeld went to Jimmy Fallon and showed that you can get record ratings just by allowing other voices on. And that's the problem. They have tried to pretend that 60% or 70% of America is filled with extremists because they don't agree with them.
It's 12%.
And now nobody's listening to them anymore. As Culture was pointing out, these websites, the access media types, they're dying, and they're dying to try one last time to stop Johnny and Gina. What say you, Jonas?
I think that they have nothing better to do. There's a certain kind of person that I'm becoming more aware of as I am online for a very long time. And it's the kind of person who thinks that their opinion needs to be everyone else's opinion. There's one group that thinks that everyone has the chance to be successful, and therefore I don't want to set any rules against rich people because I would like to be rich one day. And then there's another set of people that say, you know what we need to do? We need to police everyone's opinions because one day I will be in power and I will set all the governmental rules that will create a moral and perfect society. I don't like it when people go out there and try to tell other people that their opinions are wrong, especially when it's something that is a simple matter of taste, like whether or not Johnny Depp is great as Jack Sparrow, which, by the way, numerically speaking, he definitely is, or whether or not Cara Dune belongs in Star Wars as played by Gina Carano. I think that that is a franchise which the quote that came out from Ron Howard on is delicious, and I'll bring it up here. Don't forget, it's for 12-year-old boys. I think Gina Carano would also appeal to that audience here. They have forgotten at Lucasfilm that they are there to entertain, not to preach their message about what they think the world should be. They're supposed to tell an engaging and aspirational story. So
there you go.
I have no time for someone trying to tell me, is this person morally what we want? I'm sorry. The last time I checked, most of the people that they cover in Hollywood are not being covered in Hollywood because they went and built a children's hospital. In fact, it's kind of the opposite.
Vash, how quickly do you think they can get Johnny Depp on the phone and get this script going?
Do they have 1,000,001 alpacas is the question. No, I mean, look, I said it right after the trial was finished, the initial trial that made waves all over the internet. I was like, look, this is a redemption arc for Johnny. You put out a Pirates of the Caribbean film within a couple of years of that conclusion right there. That's at least $1 billion picture. Now, maybe some of that enthusiasm has dropped off just a little bit, but it's still it's going to be unbelievably successful, unbelievably popular. But I don't think the company was ready at that time to pivot in that direction. Now I think they understand that the culture maybe has shifted or was in that position to begin with, and that's given the confidence for them to move forward. Jerry Bruckheimer, obviously, having come off F1 and so forth, want to get back with him. And there's a lot of reasons to go in this direction, and it makes perfect sense. And Nat, I know you were talking about how whether or not Johnny Depp or Gina Carano would want to do business with them again. I think for them, it would be painful to work for them, but I think for them, the bigger thing is that it's a redemption arc. It is the credibility, I think, that they were looking for. It is the return of the respect and just the validation, I think, is the bigger picture. And I think that's also why Gina Carano settled her lawsuit, right? She was like, look, if I get a statement from Disney that redeems my character, that says, hey, look, Gina Carano was not reprehensible, or whatever Lucasfilm actually ended up saying, that is, the biggest win that anybody could possibly get. If she goes out, and even if she wins, she's blacklisted from Hollywood forever. Now she has that redemption arc to either work in the industry or do whatever she wants, having her character unfortunately stained, but highly restored, and even more so if she's incorporated into future content going forward.
Well said. And folks, that's where we'll leave it for now, but we'll keep an eye on this. Desperation, thy name is Access Media. They're trying, but they're dying because they're actually the ones on the wrong side of history, aka they believe in the superiority of censorship. The Hollyweirds don't understand how it is we do what we do, bringing you video after video every single day of the utmost highest excellence and quality. But folks, we do it because of you. We appreciate you. you are seen and heard here on the Pro Channel. Make your voices heard, folks, by doing one last thing before we say goodbye for a short time. Consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, and you know what? That notification bell, click it and stick it to the algorithms. Also, drop a comment down below and let us know your thoughts. And don't forget, folks, we've got even more content on the way. If you'd like to become a member, it's just the price of a soda per month, and you'll gain access to all kinds of exclusive content beyond what the public sees, including archival footage of the Pro Show that goes away after just a few days from its public release. Folks, we hope we get the honor of spending time with you again soon, and until then, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
Want it all, so I give them cannonball. Yeah.
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio.
Arizona. Pineapple pizza, Hawaiian ice freeze, yeah. Can't wait to be up. 3 days of you and me.
What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.